Children are allowed to play with balls on Shabbat because they're children and they're not commanded on the mitzvot. Adults, on the other hand, are not allowed to play with the ball by themselves on Shabbat unless they're playing with children, meaning a father is playing with their child and it's part of their onik Shabbat, their enjoyment of Shabbat. But if the father just wants to play basketball by himself, or the adult, which according to Judaism, it's a male that's 13 years old and a female at 12 years old is considered an adult, according to the Torah. So that person plays with a ball on Shabbat, it's a problem. And there's a couple of reasons for it. Number one, since he's not a child, that ball is considered muktzeh. It's the same thing as touching a pen on Shabbat. It's forbidden. Why? Because this is something that doesn't belong on Shabbat. Shabbat is a time of holiness. So to play basketball on Shabbat is no different than talking business on Shabbat. It's bringing the mundane of the 6 days of the week to a holy day. And instead of enjoying the holy day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created just for you, by talking to Him, by praying to Him, by learning His Torah, what are we doing? We're just making it an off day. We're making it a day off of work, a day off of school. So Hashem obviously doesn't take that lightly, and the prophet Isaiah says to the people of his time that used to simply talk business and mundane things, they're talking about some property that maybe they want to buy, or some property that really looks good, and the prophet Isaiah calls them Mechalei Shabbat. Calls them Mechalei Shabbat. He calls them that as if they drove on Shabbat. Why? How dare you bring the mundane to the holy? So I know that there's going to be plenty of rabbis that play basketball too, unfortunately. But a lot of people have titles of rabbis. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're rabbis. A lot of people have titles of Jews. Doesn't necessarily mean that the Torah calls them Jews. I'm just telling you what the halacha is. You can keep it. You could, not keep it. That's up to you. If you want to go to Gan Eden, I promise you there's no basketball court in heaven. There's no basketball court in heaven, and I promise you there's probably not a single basketball star that ever went to Gan Eden. Why? Because if you're a basketball star, that means that your life is the ball. Your life is the ball. HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants Him to be your life, the Torah to be your life. You have 6 other days to play basketball. You have 6 other days to play soccer. You have 6 other days to play whatever sport or thing that you want to do. Why are you using Shabbat for that? Do you even know what Shabbat is? Do you know that the Chachamim was so careful with Shabbat that when the Gaon Mivilna, when his own mother, just wanted to talk about how things are, how are you doing? He rebuked his own mother. He said, Ima, Shabbat. Meaning, we can't talk about nothing. Everything that comes out of our mouth, the words that come out of our mouth, have to be about Torah. To such an extent that the Chachamim debated among each other, are you even allowed to say Shabbat Shalom on Shabbat? Why? Maybe it's not really the holiest thing to say. But then they said, no, you're allowed. Why are you allowed to say Shabbat Shalom? Now we're going to answer, we're allowed to say Shabbat Shalom to be nice to people. No, it has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with being nice to people. You could go like this and be nice to people. Nod. Hey, save a word. Why? Because Shabbat is one name for God, and Shalom is also a name for God. So in essence, you're saying two different names of Hashem, so it's like a mitzvah. That's the reason. The point is, Rabotai, the Chachamim was so careful with Shabbat that they would be scared to touch something that could possibly be muktzeh. To what extent? One time, the Gaon Mivilna, just a couple of 100 years ago, we're talking about our great-great-parents. We're not talking about something from 5,000 years ago. We're not talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. The Gaon Mivilna one time, by accident, touched the peel, the shell of an egg. There was an egg, somebody peeled an egg, and left the peel on the table. Now usually you could take it, once you peel it, you could take it, throw it out, finished. But somebody just left it on the table. So the Gaon Mivilna touched it by accident, not on purpose. As soon as he realized what he's touching, he passed out. Passed out on the floor. Lost consciousness. Started going, Kvod Harav, please, get up, Huh? He got up, he saw the peel again, passed out again. Passed out, mamash, lost consciousness. Got up, they threw some water in his face. Get up again, saw the peel, passed out again. Now it became pikuach nefesh. Why? You start passing out too many times, you could die. So his wife knew what's going on here. No one understood. Why did he pass out? No one knew that he touched the peel. Only his wife realized what happened before he passed out, and she saw the peel on the table. So as soon as he got up again, she took the peel and put it in her mouth and ate it. Why? She says, now that he sees that technically you could eat it, it's not muktzeh. It's not muktzeh. So he's not going to pass out. Now technically, the peel, you could have quite a few chachamim that say it's not even muktzeh b'chlal. Quite a few chachamim that tell you it's not even a problem at all. Meaning on the possibility, on the doubtful possibility that maybe I touched muktzeh, he simply couldn't live with himself. Now let me ask you a question. If he knew so much Torah and he literally couldn't live with himself, touching something that could possibly be muktzeh, possibly. Anyone here think it's a wise idea to touch something that's for sure muktzeh? Even if it's called a basketball and people get millions of dollars for touching it all day? He knew a lot more Torah than we could ever know. And he almost died for the possibility of almost touching muktzeh. And we're touching it, and we're throwing it, and we're playing with it as if, what's the big deal? Wow, Rabbi, I'm having a good time. It's my oneg Shabbat. If that's your oneg Shabbat, then you don't know what Shabbat is about. So the answer is no. You cannot play basketball on Shabbat, but you can find a bunch of fake rabbis that will tell you you are allowed. It just depends. Which heaven do you want to go into? The heaven that's full of fire, that's full of those rabbis that tell you to play basketball, they're going to play basketball in the fire with you? Or do you want to go to heaven that the righteous rabbis go to? There's no basketball over there. There's only Kedusha over there. There's no fire. Depends. You know, you call, rabbi, heaven, but, little different description of what happens in there.